was like, you want the real shit in Star Wars? You want the real shit?
Like,
You was like, oh no.
You want to end an episode stressed out?
Stressed out. Where they live? Like, you're like a kid on Saturday morning. You be like, God damn.
Yeah.
And what's up, y'all, and welcome to another episode of the For All Nerds Show. It's your boy, DJ Ben Amin, a.k.a. Broad Knob Backwoods, Broad with Dank, Crimson Jack Daniels, Barrier Tubman here in the spaceship tonight. If you listen to any great episode of the For All Nerds Show, you probably heard this duo joining us. I'm going to let them introduce themselves because I already know they're about to come with the flames.
Hey, this is Karen. For half a black guy who tips. Y'all already know I'm terrible with the AKAs, so I'm just coming off the top rope. AKA Karen Jaleel White, AKA Lost in Space 2025, because I don't know what the fuck gonna happen in this country.
Both fire right there. Both fire.
And I'm Rod Morrow, the other half of the Blackout Tips podcast, aka Black Reacher, aka Chief Keith Wiggum, aka BBC 3PO, and aka Jedi Master P. Make them say, nah, would.
I like how we both managed to reference my man Nah Wood. Because backwood, nah wood right there. Yes, and if you compete by our AKAs, we are talking about Skeleton Crew. The new series on Disney Plus. 6 episodes have been released so far out of 8. So if you haven't seen those 6, consider yourself warned. This is definitely going to be a spoiler territory. We're going to talk about everything. But mainly we're going to, just talk about, what we liked, what we didn't like, and what we are looking forward to in these last 2 episodes. I'm going to start it off the bat. What I like about Skeleton Crew is that it's the most surprising show from Star Wars so far. Like, I had zero to little and less negative anticipation when they said it's a kid's show. I was like, oh man, damn it. The only thing that was keeping me interested was Jude Law. I didn't realize the caliber of directors they had on this show, so that might have really clued me into what they were doing if I'd paid attention to that. But it was more just Jude Law and kids, and I was like, damn it, this could go either way. And I was, given their recent track record, I was like, this ain't gonna go well. So that's my first thing, that it was the most surprising show, because I will say what I like about it is that it's near perfect. And then I'll let the floor to you.
Well, for me, man, I mean, I'm such a Star Wars fan. I'm very open-minded. And at this point, I don't look at it as one property. I really look at it as like a thing that everyone's getting to touch and give their version of it. So I'm pretty open to different interpretations, because I like to see, like, what would Star Wars be like if, if you get into that hyper capitalistic, like what is it against that, when we talking about this terrorism versus freedom fighters and the stuff, so you get into some of that and you like, yo, I like this Andor, it's different.
Come on now.
The Acolyte, it's like the first time it seemed like people was gonna have sex in Star Wars. Like it was like, oh, okay, it's a little sexy, it's a little dangerous. They playing with the Sith lore and stuff. And so I like all of that type of stuff. So when it came to this, I really just wanted to feel something different. Like at this point, every time I see something Star Wars, I'm like, I don't want more of the same. I want you to give me something different. And this is something different. Like this it's got that Goonies vibe. Is exploring stuff that you don't even think about in Star Wars. Like it's almost like a suburban Star Wars. Like what is a Star Wars middle class? We only see the poorest and the richest people in Star Wars,
right?
Like it's not. And like, what do those kids do when they meet the slum and villainy outside of their safe little walls? So I like that. I love the kids being kids in Star Wars, but it's still Star Wars, and they didn't nerf the rest of Star Wars. It's treacherous on these streets. So like you really be like going through with these little dudes like, yo.
I thought Shorty was gonna get her throat cut.
Bam.
Like the possibility was there, that's the thing. It's like they keep the tension there where it's like, yes, this, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Right.
But they might cut off camera and then come back
Right.
and Shorty gone.
And the kids ain't got no powers. They don't have no
No.
Jedi training. Like they are as close to kids as you get in like the Star Wars universe. The music is amazing. Like the score of this, they're nailing it every episode. It's really impressive. Obviously it looks great. Ever since they stopped whatever H1 visa shit they was doing with them animators, like it feels like the animation has gotten better the more they've slowed down their projects.
Give them time to work.
Yeah, not that the Star Wars stuff ever was really looking bad, because I feel like LucasArts don't play the same way they let Disney play with the Marvel. They be like, y'all
Right.
not fitting to speed us up too much. But so I think it looks great. And then the last thing is Jude Law is he's such an amazing character. He feels like a true rogue. Like normally these guys don't feel like real rogues. It's like, man, I know at the end of the day, Han Solo gonna do the right thing. Finn gonna do the right thing at the end of the day. Like he's still kind of a hero. Jude Law character, I'll be looking at Nana Wood like, bro, I don't know. He might kill this child and be fine with it and be smiling 2 scenes later. So that's what they're really nailing to me.
And for me, one thing I loved about this series is that it was kid oriented. I know a lot of adults automatically turn their minds off because sometimes adults think that things that brought them in as a kid, they consume these things to become adults. And then they want everything they consume to be for them as an adult, forgetting that it's a whole generation that you got to introduce them. You got to bring them into this world. If everything is just strictly for adults, there's no reason for a child to enter a world that's kind of already pre-built and they don't see themselves in this world at all. Sometimes adults have a tendency to get so caught up in their own nostalgia. They forget that sometimes children need their own nostalgia too. Because we had Goonies and all this stuff, but guess what? Our parents had something else that brought Goonies forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, so people have a tendency to forget that. So sometimes when I'm talking to adults, sometimes not trying to find, I don't listen to some of them. I go, no, let me consume this for myself, because you're looking at something from a 40-year-old brain or a 50-year-old brain. So your perspective on this is going to be very, very different than a perspective of a 6-year-old or a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old. Just like when they did Kamala Khan. Kamala Khan was good, but so many people I asked, they just skipped that whole series. Oh, that's for kids. I was like, y'all, this is a great show, an excellent show. Not trying to funny. It gave history. I learned shit about India that I didn't know. I was like, oh, word, y'all had a civil war too. Like I'm not trying to be funny. Like it's stuff that happened that made me go research.
Than a civil war.
Yeah, that made me go research some of their history. That was like, oh, this shit is deep. But you had a lot of people that skipped that. So when Miss Marvel came, they was like, who this little girl, where she came from? I was like, well, if you would have watched the series, you would have been more kind of informed on her background. Right. And so for me, that's one thing I loved about it. They was like, we're going all kids. We're not going to have adults play children, because that's what they do too. Sometimes you have, like, for some, like the older Spider-Mans, you have like a 28, 21-year-old playing a 16-year-old. They were like, no, we gonna get kids playing kids, doing kid shit, because we understand that this is for children. Right. And so for me, that's something that I appreciate them kind of sticking to their guns on that. I appreciate them doing shit the kids do, touching shit. You tell them not to touch shit, they're gonna touch shit. Doing the stupid shit the kids do. I understand as adults that frustrates you because you know better. But if I'm a 6-year-old watching this, I would be like, oh yeah, I can imagine myself in this world. It brings me into this world, you know. So now, guess what? If they have a Skeletons 2, you're going to have kids that's going to be excited for the next version of this. Or if they branch off into the movies or bring them into the movies, you're going to have a subsection that's going to be a little bit more excited than they will being watching a bunch of adults. And so for me, the biggest thing that I really liked about that was, and also I like the cast. They cast really, really well. From the kids to Jude Law to Jaleel White. Like I feel like most people were cast, but there was nobody that I was like, I don't know about you, but you're not really sticking it. And if they wasn't that great, they didn't have enough screen time for me to actually critique hard, if that makes sense. It was like, it's like boom, 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 boom. We kind of on to the next. That's another thing I like about kids. When you're doing something for children, you don't stick with anything for a long period of time because you have a children's attention span.
Mm.
You know, so this is why a lot of, like you said, a lot of adults going with it was good. It's like, yeah, because we don't have 20 minutes of dialogue or wasting time and killing time and talking to each other, love interest and all that stuff. Because sometimes you have to kind of do that for adults, but you don't have to do that for kids. A trap door, something switch, you turn around, you look. They did a lot of, when you was watching, it was a lot of changes. Everything changed real quick and real fast for the eye because it was oriented for children. So I absolutely enjoyed the series.
I also do think that it matters that Jude Law is a Star Wars nerd. Like you could tell certain actors when they get these, like certain actors get into the universe and it's like, finally, it's my turn.
Yeah.
And he's eating it up. And like I remember years ago, him and his Katy Perry, they were touring the Jedi Disney exhibit years ago. Like when it first opened, like
he was dating Katy Perry?
Katy, yeah. And they was out like just out there like in the uniforms taking pictures. I was like, oh, they into this? I didn't know they was into this. But then when he got cast, I was like, oh, this might be his big break for him, you know?
You look at the ages of people like Jude Law, so you know, he grew up on this. And like, speaking of Jude, I always thought he was the weirdest looking dude in the world. And then I went to the Captain Marvel set and I met him, and I was like, oh, this is why they pay you so much money, bro. Because you are impeccable. Like, you are fucking gorgeous, dog. Like, you are stunning, And that was the thing, like I said, about this show that I should have realized from the jump. When he accepted the role, like you said, I should have known the quality, of this show, because Jude doesn't really take a lot of roles. And when he does, it's usually a good project, movie, series, whatever he's doing. He's an actor. So
yeah, because he could have been in a lot of stuff with his, with his name. He could have been in way more stuff if he wanted to.
Bro, that boy's stunning.
Yeah, he kind of just pops in and out places,
Like, I was sitting there like, God damn, Jude. But also, I want
stop looking me directly in the eyes, man.
Right. I need to turn away.
It was Jude Law, and that set was filled with. Brie Larson is pretty as hell. What's her name? The chocolate sister is just out of control. The Asian woman, and then your boy, who? Star-Lord. Yo, you want to talk about some goddamn cheekbones? That black man is a god, bro. Like, Captain Marvel was like, oh, okay, I'm not an actor, like I'm not, I'm never going to look like these people. There's a different level here.
That's facts.
Bro, that shit broke my heart. I realized I was a mere mortal.
It is crazy because like Jamin Hansu.
Oh my God.
Like Jamin Hansu is a dude that don't normally even get to play like a heartthrob type role.
Bro,
like,
he should.
Right?
but he, yes.
Like that's how crazy Hollywood is. Like if you saw that man walk into your local like bodega, you'd be like, he shut it down.
Right? All the panties getting tossed this way.
I remember I was talking to somebody else, and he was sitting over there in the armor like 10 feet away. And I'm just like, God damn, this brother is really, like that, It's like when I met Idris Elba one time. I was like, oh, okay, the rumors are true, fam.
Right.
I get it. You got an aura.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand.
Straight up.
Yeah,
straight
people
up.
willing to risk it all. You go, oh, I get it. That's why I'm going to stay 10 feet away from you. I'm not going to get charmed.
Oh, man, I get it. Yeah. So also real quick, I wanted to shout out, because you shouted out the music, Rod. It's by Mick Giancino. I hope I got that right. He is actually the son of Michael Giancino, who Michael did the score for Rogue One, which is another incredible Star Wars score.
Yep.
Yes.
And also what I love about Rogue One and what I love about this is how they hint at the original themes, but don't like completely use them. They just like give you a little taste. And we were talking about it, how there's even like taste of like the Goonies and other themes, they're just sprinkling them in, and like, so you just get that feeling, and it brings that
like
nostalgia.
Pirate shanties and stuff that they got in there. Like they really went deep in their bag. It's a versatile sounding soundtrack because it's never not Star Wars, but it's always other stuff too, which is really difficult to incorporate.
And that's what Rogue One did so well, and that's why it's so good. And I'm about to rewatch Andor, and Andor probably did the same thing, because I don't. Andor, just terrified me and enthralled me throughout it, so I don't even remember the music. Like it was just, I was just goddamn blown away every second, and I was
ain't no whimsy. Ain't no whimsy in Andor.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah, I can
You know
on
what I
this
mean?
I can chill and listen to music. On Andor, I'm
Andor
like,
was gritty.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like stressed out of my mind.
Andor was like, you want the real shit in Star Wars? You want the real shit?
Like,
You was like, oh no.
you want to end an episode stressed out?
Stressed out. Where they live? Like, you're like a kid on Saturday morning. You're like, God damn.
Yeah, the
Bro,
score
I
is
will-
just building underneath somebody's monologue every day. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you want to talk about sacrifice? Like, damn, bro, I can't even enjoy this music.
Oh my god, because I'm sitting there just like this dialogue. God damn, this man's eating. Ooh, all right. Now I know this might be a little difficult, but what's one thing that you disliked about Skeleton Crew?
For me, it wasn't put like this.
Mm-hmm.
The dislike is more of I want more. I don't know if that makes sense. So my thing is I would like to know more about the kids' history. They kind of tapped on it, but I would like to know more about the world itself. Because yeah, we were introduced, but we were kind of introduced in kind of like a flyby. Like we were kind of go, but the world around them, the planet is its own character. So I would like to know more about the character itself. I would also like to know more about 33. And I would also like to know more about Jude Law. And I know we're going to get these questions answered. Like some of these, I know we're going to get answered either, sooner or later. But that is a good thing for me to be like, I want more. So that's kind of my critique is I wish we could have had more time to kind of go more in more depth and still do it in that funny, whimsical type of kiddie way. But just more because it's like it was stuff that was so intriguing that was in the background that I kind of wanted to come more to the foreground.
And that's something real quick before you answer, Rod. I wanted to talk about because I tweeted this today. I was like, "This is a near perfect show." And Rod, that's why I saw you retweet it. I was like, "Okay, Rod's watching it, so I'm definitely gonna have him on for here." And it's done for kids, and like we were talking about, but they don't dumb it down. And I think on Threads, one of them it blew up kind of, and people responding. And there's always the me, but what about? And this one person was like, well, Star Wars isn't strictly for kids. George Lucas originally, Vietnam War, and
Right.
And I always hate when people do that because, bro, I was there. I know, like, fam. I've been on the Disney lot. But anyway, beyond that, it's just like I didn't say it was strictly anything. I said they did it for kids and they didn't dumb it down.
Yes.
And it's like people don't want to read and people just want to argue. And I'm just way 2025. I'm way past the point of arguing with anyone on the internet. I'm blocking you.
Your time.
No, I block you immediately. I talk to anyone who agrees, but I just don't have time to disagree because it's like if you don't like this show, go that way. I do.
Exactly.
I want to talk to people who like it. We can discuss things we didn't like we're saying, but that's what I really wanted to point out. Like it's for kids, but when I say it doesn't dumb it down, one of my favorite shots is my man takes a laser to the chest, hold through him, and then you can see straight through him, but then he falls down so you see who shot him. It's like the classic shot.
Yes.
And it's grimy. Like we were talking about, like Jude Law, might have cut Fern's throat in that scene. I was really
He really had me on the ropes.
Yeah. And at the end of that scene where it turns black and you heard the sound of the lightsaber.
What? And they don't show it?
Right. And you know what I thought? And when I heard that sound, I was like, run, kids. Like, I understood they went down that tunnel, but I was like, he might go after them.
Who knows?
The whole time they was down, I was like, y'all better move quick. Y'all down there fucking around. He would have been like, y'all here?
Like I said, he's a true rogue because like that speech he gave to the pirates when he was in handcuffs.
Yes.
And how he manipulated everybody and got them on his side and basically turned them against the other pirate captain. Like he's one of the more fascinating. Yes.
He pulled the chalky white on him.
Yes, he did. Fascinating character. But as for dislikes for me, I mean, they have 2 more episodes. So I won't with everything like this, I don't try to go too hard until it's over because I don't want to be saying something and then they do this shit and then I'm like, well, yeah, okay, my bad. So like they got 2 more episodes. It's hard for me to imagine how they can answer all the questions that I have.
Right.
And it's also hard for me to imagine that they can truly give the backstory scope that they need for these next 2 episodes with the way it's been paced so far.
Right.
Now they may know that they got a second season in their pocket like that, and that and that came back to haunt the Acolyte, which you know what I'm saying? I like the Acolyte. One of the biggest critiques of the Acolyte is actually that they didn't get to finish the story they were going to do.
Yes.
So like a lot of the reasons people don't, and I said it when we were reviewing it during it, I was like, I'm looking at the episode number. And it don't look like they're going to get to answer these questions. And if they don't answer these questions and they don't get another season, people are going to be pissed.
Right. Yes.
And so I don't want that to happen with this, because there's some stuff happening with Atten, the parents.
Yes.
Because like, are we rooting for the progeny of like Imperials? What are we like? Who are these kids' parents and what do they do? They sitting on all this Empire coin. Are they funding the war? Like what? Who are these people and who are these kids? Because you introduced us to their kids. No one roots against kids.
Right.
Yep.
But like, I mean, if those parents are doing anything that is making the galaxy a worse place, I need the kids as characters to have a fundamental like knowledge of what their parents are doing and a reckoning for learning that knowledge. Because right now they're just babes in the woods and they're learning about the whole universe they've been sheltered from.
Right.
What happens if you find out like, yo, your parents ain't necessarily the good guys?
Right, right. And it turns their world upside down.
2 episodes ain't enough to confront that, in my opinion. So with the pacing, I have to start wondering like where are these kids gonna end this journey on? What will they have truly learned? Because just getting back home to me is like cute, but it's not necessarily gonna bring them into the bigger world of Star Wars.
All right. Oof. I didn't even consider that. So that does make me think that they're hoping or Jude Law signed off for more than one season.
Yeah,
because like you said, I don't see them going back home. The name of the show is Skeleton Crew.
Right.
You know, it's not We're Going Home Crew. You know, so it is like they are going to grow into this role. They have this ship. And like you said, the Atten is the biggest mystery of the show. Now, remember, this show takes place after Return of the Jedi. The Empire has fallen.
Right.
The Republic is reestablishing itself. You know, good.
Right.
You know, whatever is spreading through the galaxy. But like we said,
my bad. So it would be the New Order, right? Like,
yeah. So this would be they could be funding up the New Order. Yeah, but I mean Empire, whatever. You know, Empire by a different name. You know, MAGA 1 minute. What was they? The Tea Party last week.
Yeah, they try to rebrand. They try to rebrand.
You know what I mean?
The New Order now. They not clone troopers no more. They just street urchins.
New color, same taste.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So they keep flipping it, but the Atten mystery, I think, is my favorite or one of my favorite things about the show, because it's like, okay, what's going on? Where is this barrier? Why are these other planets? They got all this coin, like you said. Now we do know now that they're the mint there. They're you know, they're one of the mints of the Republic. But whenever you see the people working and the whole structure of it, it gets back to that Andor feel when they show the Empire, you know, of just the monotony and just the, you know, office drones basically feeling of it. So there is some mystery there, and this could turn to be Marvel's Star Wars version of the Runaways from Marvel.
Yeah.
Where the kids discover that their parents are evil and then have to go on the run from them.
Yeah, because like with the evil drones that oversee their work, feels very Empire-ish, feels very evil-ish.
They're they're way off in a part of the galaxy that no one else. For one, people don't even think they exist. And that's the other thing. Like, if the pirates and the scum don't think you exist, that means the Republic doesn't think you exist.
And you hoarding wealth.
Yeah.
Like the fact that them kids was loaded with them old school Republic coins and didn't even know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they got it for lunch money
for
them. Right.
They got it for lunch money. That was like big dollars to everyone else.
Right. So like all that stuff to me is like, yo, what are y'all parents really into? So like now I'm more curious on how they even confront that. Because that part is my favorite thing about Star Wars, which is even when it's for kids, George Lucas and them ain't never gonna let you forget, like, nah, villainy is messed up. Imperialism is wrong. Like, it don't matter what prop you can watch Clone Wars. It don't matter if it's a cartoon, if it's like they gonna forever get dark because it's gonna forever be like, this is a dark story. The entry point was the kids. So that's why kind of like I said, I just don't feel like they're gonna have enough time to do that in a season. I really do hope it gets renewed. They clearly put the money into the
Oh
production,
my
the
God.
directors, the act. They put the money in, so there's no reason to think they don't want a season 2.
Right.
And I just read that like the ratings are good, so I'm hoping we get a season 2 because damn, I want to solve this mystery. I want to see this.
I
Yeah.
want to see much more.
And two things. Number one, when it comes to and the way it's structured and the way it's designed and how nobody from at the top ever really interacts with the humans. So not trying funny. I wonder if the person that run it is dead. If the person that run it is like no longer like they no longer exist.
Yeah.
And so since they no longer exist, they literally have no contact to the outside world anymore. So, maybe they thought they were dying, thought they was dying, or they knew that the war was happening. So they were like, I'm gonna close this bitch off
Yeah.
to keep these people safe. And so because they was like, well, you're not supposed to go outside of the barrier.
Yeah,
They
and
was
like,
like, we can't send signals out. I was like,
we're assuming that captain is dead, and you never know with Star Wars.
Right.
You just never know.
Nobody know death.
Literally, Palpatine was still alive. You know what I mean? You just never fucking know. And the way that the other planets were set up to look like Aden, even though they were all dilapidated and torn down, it sounded like these planets were like systemically designed.
Yeah,
for
like
a purpose.
I called them like a suburb. Like we said, it looks like suburbs. So it's like when you go to one house, they're all the same. It's like somebody lays it all out. So it's like
and
somebody
the fact
came
that they have multiple planets that look like that, but the rest of the planets is bombed out, depleted, or something bad that happened to them. And Aden, the only one that's still up and running, low key, I like wonder if maybe that pirate plan was like, yo, this gonna be my one planet that I'm gonna protect from everything. Like, I know we gonna be safe. The rest of these planets, it's like a heist. It's like a loot. Like F these planets. I'm going over here with the money and the safety. And so everybody that's on that planet to me is suspect. Cause I'm like, y'all the safe ones in the galaxy. How did y'all pull that off? What are y'all doing? Y'all hiding from everybody. Your kids don't know shit. No one comes to visit. No one knows where you are.
Right.
So those are just big questions I have. The other thing I will say is I wish they had got a little more into like the pirates of it all too. Cause like the kids are cool too. But I feel like we don't really know much about the pirates other than like they don't fuck with Jude Law.
Right.
And Jude Law used to be one of them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so like a lot of the background pirate characters, they got some cool creature designs and Urkel look kind of scary or whatever, but it ain't really like giving me like these are complete full characters.
And I think that's something I'm sorry, baby. I think that's something we're gonna get later on. Like I think
if they have time, they got 2 episodes left.
That's my thing. And also they got 2 episodes left. I am under I think they're gonna, this is my hypothesis. I think they're gonna get renewed. And it's a catch-22 because if you don't know and then you do like Misha Green did, everybody complained about how shit is rushed.
Yeah, I know.
But you can't have it both ways. She was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get renewed, so I'm just gonna wrap all my stories up.
That's why I say I always wait until the final episode to even start critiquing typically, because once as someone that's worked in TV, people just don't understand. It's certain shit that's beyond your control, and you got to make the best out of 2 bad choices. I can leave y'all on a cliffhanger, and y'all gonna forever be mad, or I could try to tell y'all where we was going, because I don't think these white folks didn't give us our money, and it just like it's above me now.
Right?
You just and you never gonna hear the director come out and complain unless they like big time. So like Misha Green's never gonna come out and be like, dog, HBO did us dirty. We had a whole little plan, and they was like,
Misha Green is never gonna come out and be like, I said F for season 2 because I knew them white people wasn't gonna agree.
Yeah,
it's my
she
ideas.
Can't do that.
Her ideas were, like as much as I love it, and I thought the what they showed from what season 2 of Lovecraft was gonna be, them white folks wasn't ever gonna agree to that.
Yeah,
no, black people got magic and took over the country. Nigga, please, like
white people, the new black people.
Yeah,
nah, no season 2.
Ain't no dragons in it. Nah.
Meanwhile, what's crazy is they was hollering at Damon Lindelof trying to make him make a season 2. I was like, I said, Damon gonna do the same shit.
Same thing. I know. Black woman is God. Nigga.
Damon finna put y'all in chains too. Y'all don't want that.
That's why Damon was like, I really have no ideas.
Yeah.
I have no ideas.
Because he knew what the ideas were.
He was looking
The
at that.
idea bank is 0.
He was looking at that Lovecraft Country season 2 outline. Like,
Well, I was gonna go in that same direction, so I
sound
guess
good
I
to
don't want
me.
mine either.
Shout out to my bro, Mr. Lindelof, man. Love you. And Misha, love both of y'all, man. But ooh, man, that's Hollywood for you.
Right.
I was also gonna say, is Jaleel White like playing true to himself on this show?
dog, man. He got a weird character vibe.
I mean, I've just heard things about Mr. White, that
Yeah.
he is, more akin to Walter White than Jaleel White. Yeah, no, I really, I say the same things. Like the mystery of Ad is this that I want to talk about, right? They had Old Republic coins, so their money comes
Yeah.
from before the Empire even came into existence. So they've been a myth for a long time, right? So now the theories we have is that the pirate dude, like somehow, hid them away,
Right.
or someone else hid them away, right? And I think it's more that someone else hid them away.
Okay.
And that goes back to the idea that, they are founding the First Order, the New Order, whatever it is. Yeah, New Order, yeah. And then there's...
It might be the First Order. Now that you said that sounds
because
familiar.
New Order's
that
the
sound
group.
better.
Yeah, New Order's the group. And then the other side of it is that there was a rumor when it was first announced and when the first premise dropped that this would somehow connect to Ahsoka, because Ahsoka got shuttled to some random far corner of the galaxy, and this is some random far corner of the galaxy. And it also said the kids would get, help from a unknown source, but I think that might just be Jude Law. And then the very last thing I just want to talk about real quick is something else you mentioned, Rod, is that they don't show the color of the lightsaber. And I think that's very important, obviously, because, colors, even though it's a random lightsaber you put up, it's also, lightsabers go to the people they go to. And so, if they
colors
show
be telling on people.
There it is. And I just
that was actually low key one of the dopest things about the Acolyte was when she changed the color of that that crystal. Hey,
when
man,
that shit blood
they had
red.
some moments, dog. I know it wasn't hitting all the time, but they had some moments.
It wasn't like I was telling my boy last night. It did not hit all the time, but they had so many great ideas. It was just like, damn it,
it hit.
When it hit, y'all hit.
When it hit though,
and if y'all could have just tightened it up in a second season, we would have had something.
I think they would have, and it was the best Jedi fight ever when
oh my god,
he was fighting him by himself.
Jacinto,
he was giving everybody the bit. I was like,
I feel the worst for him.
I was like, everybody need to run. Everybody just run.
Out of everybody, and I know it's everybody lose a job. It sucks. You know what I mean? Been there. It's the worst. But of all the people, Manny had he had one of them. It's like when you look at the Spurs and you see Wemby on the team, and you be like, yo, it suck. Y'all ain't going to the playoffs, bro. Because you're
great.
He's on my fantasy team. That man is really like that, boy. That man is really.
It's like you made a triple double every night, dog. I don't know what else, and y'all still losing.
Manny put up 30, 23 rebounds, 7 blocks, 5 assists, and it's like, yeah, bro, I'm sorry,
that ain't enough.
Y'all show got canceled. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Mustard, all right, so I think we also answered my other question with that is what we're looking forward to in the last 2 episodes, which is basically hopefully some answers and just a continuation of this level. This is one of the things where it's like it was just like Andor, where I was just like, God damn, every episode this show is really like that. And then it got to the ending, and I was thinking about it today. I got to rewatch it. I know there's like one little quibble I had with the ending. And I think it was because the villain survived, but I get it, But I think that was my only real problem with Andor. Beyond that, I was just like, this show is fucking perfect.
Yeah, and that's another one that got a season 2. So when you get that season 2, you can go back to those things and revisit them.
And probably won't have no problems. I probably will have none. Like when it's done, because I just trust them so far. Like when it's said and done. I think it's just to be pure.
To me, low key, I know these are totally different vibes, but this show has a chance to be with Andor. Like, totally different vibes at different ends of the spectrum.
Yes,
but
with
like
the growth of the kids.
They're 2 episodes away from us being like, yeah, so obviously top 5 Andor Skeleton Crew, you know.
Bro, I told my boy the other day, it goes Empire Strikes Back, Andor, Rogue One, might be Skeleton Crew. You know?
They got a real shot.
Empire Strikes Back, A New Hope, Rogue One, Andor, Skeleton Crew. And then Last Jedi for me, because I'm one of them ones. You know,
me too, bro. I'm one of them ones. I'll fight on it.
I'll fight it to the forever. Yeah. So, and then I'll even start throwing in, not the Phantom Menace, but Revenge of the Sith. Dog.
Like, they sleep on that one,
bruh. That joint is so.
Listen, the last hour 15 of that Revenge of the Sith, I'll put that up against anything.
That man walk in on them kids and light that lightsaber.
Oh no, babies,
dog. That's like
that little blonde hair boy jumps. That little blonde hair boy's like.
It's like, oh no, baby.
It's like Master Andy's here. It's like, oh no, kids.
No, he ain't.
It's not gonna go. Yeah, dog. That was like they made me hating Anakin Skywalker for like 2 films into like cinema. Because I said, yeah, this is who he is. This the real you.
Yeah.
You'll choke your girl out and crash out the whole galaxy, you weird ass nigga.
All right. Woo, all right.
Oh, I do have one more thing for looking forward to.
And
it's kind of ties in with Atten, but they kind of like dropped the parents, and the parents were clearly about to do something.
Yeah, and then it felt like we didn't get more of that in the last episode. So I was wondering that too. Okay.
Yeah, I'm assuming these last 2 episodes, we're gonna at least see what the parents' plan is. And I wonder if it's actually gonna be the parents that fuck up the whole like Atten is a secret place. Not the
trying
kids.
to find their kids.
Yeah, because like I think the assumption is like, well, the kids trying to get home, these pirates are after the kids. Atten's gonna get discovered. But I feel like if the parents do something to be like, look, we want our fucking kids back. And if that means people gonna find out about the barrier and where we at, too bad. I want my kid. And you know the people over top gonna try to shut that down. So I want to see that whole thing play out, because I think that could tell us just as much about Atten as all these rumors and pirates and all that shit. Because the parents definitely know something. And they ain't talked about it on screen yet. They don't say what they do. They just be like, oh, well, you know,
administration.
Whatever it is. And it's going to be interesting to kind of see where they take that story. Because, it could be something where, like you say, the parents blow the cover. And it could be something where the kids might have to deal with the parents' death or something like that. Like, because you don't never know. The parents might turn, and it might be because they was trying to not let it out that bad that if y'all do make it back, y'all gonna find out y'all parents are dead. And how are y'all gonna reconcile with the fact that where you lived is no longer safe?
You also brought up another point that I forgot to mention. What the fuck is Jude Law? I want to see.
What is he?
He clearly got a shady past. Like, is this nigga like Sith? Is
he got some training?
Was he kicked out of the Jedi? Was he one of them fucking Padawans Anakin ain't get to? Like,
you never know.
Cause he clearly got.
He might be that little blonde hair boy.
He might be.
He might be.
He might. I'm gonna tell you right now.
He might have been like.
If episode 7 is from that little boy's perspective and that's Jude Law, it might jump over Andor for me, dog.
I'll flip over a table, bro.
It might jump over Andor.
If they had that little boy.
Oh shit.
He do that little Jedi fast run out of there.
Yeah, he do that Jedi flip jump. Like, that was him. That's why he don't mess with them Jedi.
we find out he was one of the people that was in the background talking about the Mandalorian. You know how they went through the history.
Oh, when Grogu was there.
Yeah, found out he was one of them kids in the background. He gonna be looking up and Grogu gonna be floating past him. I mean, like the best
what about me?
show ever.
Right?
Is it? Hands down. I know it ain't gonna make no sense. I was like,
Fuck you,
y'all tied
Grogu.
this shit together. Let's go.
All right. We will be back in some form or another to talk about, the final season. I mean, not the last 2 episodes of the whole season. We'll probably do an all-star review and gather some more people. But before then, Rod and Karen, please let the people know where they can find you at.
Oh, yo, check us out, the Black Guy Who Tips podcast. You can find it everywhere you get podcasts. Ben's been on the show more than a few times, friend of the show.
I got to come back soon.
Hell
Yes.
yeah, anytime, bro. Last
Yep.
time he was on, we talked about Hendrix. So that
Now you've read it. Now we really got to talk about
I've
it.
read it. We talked about the whole creative process and all that stuff. So, I know y'all got that here too. But, if y'all want to hear it somewhere else, make sure y'all do that. We've also had him and Tati come by. We fought about Game of Thrones and Marvel and shit. Like it's always a fun time. It's all love, and we love coming here. You can find me on social media, Rodimus Prime on Twitter,
and I'm say that again. Dat as in DAT on Twitter,
and our show is TBGWT on Twitter, and then of course everywhere else you get the show, just put in the Black Guy Who Tips on social media, and you'll find us. Thank you for having us, Ben.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh no, as always, like we always say, y'all are true friends of the show. Like true family. Rod and Karen, I've enjoyed y'all content even before I knew y'all. I always thought y'all was just such a dope team and such a dope show, and everything y'all produce. Shout out to Bomani and all the different things you've done. And I know you'll continue to do going forward. So just love to have you. This was fantastic. And as always, I'm DJ Ben Amin on all social media. You can also find me on ForAllNerds.com. We are For All Nerds, me and my partner, Tatiana King, who you can find on all socials at Tatiana King as well. Host For All Nerds. We got a lot of big things coming in 2025. Make sure you head over to ForAllNerds.com. Check out our merch over there. Enough fire coming very soon over there. So make sure you're following, leaving email, all that. Follow For All Nerds on all different social platforms, as well as on YouTube, on Twitch. We're everywhere. Anywhere you get a podcast, make sure you hit follow, hit a like, subscribe, all that, leave a comment, all that good stuff. All the love helps. As for me, DJ Ben, make sure you're following me at bitdjenergy.com. That way you can keep up with everything. I just released an album full of edits, music for the people is what it's called. It's got all kind of edits of popular songs and classics and just joints like that. I'll be dropping much more music this year. Some more comic books coming. Like Rod said, Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze is in stores right now. Anyone Comics still has a very few copies of signed copies left. We're running out, selling out everywhere. So make sure you get that. One of the biggest books of 2024. Thank you for all the support. Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze from Titan Comics. And I think that's about it, right? Yeah, I think that's about it. Thank y'all for joining us. We'll be back next time. Love and peace and all that good stuff. Holla back.
What's up, internets and the fam? This is Tatiana King for All Nerds, and I want to thank you so much for listening and watching the All Nerds. Make sure you like and subscribe to us only on YouTube.
For All Nerds Show is a member of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to our founder, Combat Jack.
For All Nerds Show is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, our website, are all independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/forallnerds.